Stop. We about to be in like 5 seconds. 5 seconds.
How do you know?
Everybody's hearing you right now.
Okay, hold on.
All right, hold on.
Hi, my name is Asia.
All right, turn that thing on, Josh. Hit that button. Hit the button. Not that button. Okay, now hit the little trans 3 button. There we are. Hello, folks. Might want to scoot up a little bit, get in the light. Ah, the light. You got to walk into the light. We have some visitors here tonight from the Boys and Girls Club, and they want to say something to y'all.
Hey,
Welcome to the Trailer Park Show.
Get up there, look closer.
Hey, welcome to the Trailer Park Show.
my name's Alicia.
Hope you guys enjoy the show.
My name's Lacey Bechtold. Hey. My name's Asia, and I want. My name is Lacey Bechtold. I just want to say, Julia, I know you watching. I love you.
I want to shout out to
Okay.
my friends. Go for it. Shout out. Don't be scared. Just remember that. Sitting there in your underwears. Say to do.
My name is Alicia Diaz, and hope y'all love the show.
My name is Asia Thompson. I hope y'all love this show. The Asia. I just wanted y'all to know my name.
And her name is Alexis.
Yeah.
You just spoke for.
And shout out to everybody that okay. So how long you been with the Boys and Girls Club? For about 4 years or?
Everybody else is about the same time?
No, 2 years.
Just 1 year?
I hear y'all gonna make a music video.
Yeah.
Good luck on your music video. And tell them they can shout it out. So anyways.
Thank you all. Appreciate you all. And have fun.
Young leaders of today. We always say young leaders of tomorrow. My nephew and other young folks say, no, we're the young leaders of today. We're not going to wait for tomorrow.
Well, young people there weren't waiting for tomorrow.
Yeah.
That's good. We like to help out when we can.
It's also always nice to have Dr. Pressley.
Oh, yeah.
Our
Dr. Laura
as a
Presley's
guest
here with us tonight.
and enlighten
No
us on
Cargill tonight.
many
He's still
issues.
working, making tax dollars for us.
That someone's working.
Yeah.
Good.
Of course, I need him so I can keep breathing.
Today was the first day of early vote.
That's right. And you were down there working.
I'm at UT at the Flon Center.
We may talk some about the housing bond coming up, but first we're going to go into smart meters.
Oh, all right.
We're gonna
Chris?
dig into that sucker real quick.
Yeah, that very first.
Oh,
Huh?
she's taking care of some stuff real quick, so we'll go ahead and continue
she's
on.
still out there with the
Any
youngsters?
announcements you have before?
Yeah, but they're all on the computer too.
Oh, really?
So we'll get this in a bit. But of course, we have Dr. Laura Presley,
Well-
who's going to be here with Austin Meters, Austin Smart Meters.
AustinSmartMeters.com,
and of course we have obviously with the great push that's been going on with trying to digitize everything, we want to try to
It's
stress
good
the
and
importance.
bad.
There's some positive, exactly. There's some positives,
It's
but
a
there's also
mix.
some negatives, and we want to stress some of the situations that are going on here in Austin, especially with the big push that City Council is doing when trying to, I guess, move forward, I guess, into a different agenda, if you will. If you will. So let's talk a little bit about what's going on with what Austin Smart Meters does, if we may.
Okay, well, back in 2009, the Austin Energy
installed smart meters across the city. And they did it for all residences, all apartment complexes, and multifamily housing units. And bottom line is these smart meters are a computerized radiation device on our homes. And
Radiation device. Now, you were on here before talking about this. It's pulsating a signal.
yes,
It's giving a meter reader, electronic meter reader is what it is, huh? It
It's
does it every
electronic
5 seconds?
that's right. It's an electronic meter reader. And it pulses, it depends, everybody, all of them are different. It pulses between 5 seconds and every 25 seconds. So
Is she back?
it's about 3,000 pulses a day that this thing sends out. Now, there's nothing that we have, your computer, your cell phone, there's nothing that does that extreme of a radiation pulse. 3,000 times a day when you're sleeping, when you're at home at lunch, or whatever, on the weekends. So, the Texas Public Utility Commission has gotten a lot of pressure from Texans across our state and said, you know what, we want an opt-out program. And because there are a lot of health issues. Some of the health issues that people have reported and health issues that I had, headaches, migraines, chest pains, heart palpitations, muscle twitching. We, at our house, actually, something that happened to us was we were,
Thank you.
thank you. We were twitching, our muscles were involuntarily twitching every 25 seconds. And this went on for years. And
That's one of them there?
That's one of them there. And we didn't know what was causing it until a friend of ours loaned us this meter. It's a very interesting little power density device. It measures the frequency bands that these smart meters put out. These smart meters put out high energy radio frequency and microwave radiation. So we measured it, and the dang thing was pulsing every 25 seconds.
Boys,
The same time as we
I've
were
got a lot of
were
rats
jerking.
in my body now. I've been radiated so much.
Said no,
I
is it
have to
raining
admit,
outside?
I have to say, cause some nights when I go to bed, my knees start twitching. I go out and eat peanut butter and try to calm it down
Well, that's
because I
not
think
my
I'm low
fault.
on potassium. I think it's that dang meter next door.
Count the seconds, and if it's a consistent time, then it's something external that's programmed. The only thing that's that is the meter right
It
now.
it happens right when I go to bed between
Like-
10 and 10:30.
Last time she
And
was
then-
here, she said it'd be like every couple seconds.
My knees just started twitching, then I can roll over and it's fine for a second, and they started twitching again.
That's
That's
not
it.
my fault, folks.
So that's it. A lot of people have these issues. So the Texas Public Utility Commission said, we're gonna do an opt-out program across the state. It'll come in about a year and a half. But we sat down with Austin Energy, Larry Weiss, and his chief of staff, and we
that back
said,
up, Mom.
we need one now. I'm sick, a lot of people I know are sick. So Larry Weiss said, okay, we're gonna be the first in the state to have an opt-out program, and it's getting rolled out November 1st. So the website, if they'll show it again,
Can you put it up there again?
And they'll go ahead. And in fact, it's under the
Well,
it's under the smart meter mechanisms, I believe, under
yeah,
the.
if you look on the website, austinsmartmeters.com.
while we wait, can we go back to when you were here last time? I asked about this. Will this opt-out program give them a liability out for them too?
I think yes.
Because if you say, hey, your meter did this to me, I said, well, you could have had this. You had the opt-out program, you didn't take it.
Well, come November 1st, what is the process for the
Okay, good
opt-out if
question.
you
So
want to
there-
opt out?
On
Can
the
you put it up there, Mo?
On the website, you can just go to the Austin Energy website themselves and do smart meter opt-out. And it's $75. There's the Austin Energy website. It's $75 to go back to the old analog meter that we had in our house in 2009.
What are we
Okay?
seeing
We
here?
already had it. So there's a $75 fee
To put in the old one.
to put in the old one. And
Go
then
back?
Go up a little.
Yeah, go up a little. You passed it up.
So there's a $75 fee to put the old one back on, and
Go
then
back up.
$10 a month to have them come read it, which it's not free. But if you are suffering and you're having health issues,
You went too far.
this is not
There you go.
that extreme. And Austin Energy promised me that if there are low-income families that want to opt out, that they will work with them and they'll do it.
So it does cost to opt out.
It does cost to opt out.
And I can see it now. You wind up in courtroom, they're gonna say, you could have opted out, so we're
Well, I'll
not
tell you
liable.
what, we're the,
Well-
go ahead.
Maybe if and when the state does get their stuff together and that passes, the cost may be addressed.
It may come down. The the PUC was looking at maybe a $200 charge
Holy cow.
I know, to switch it out. And to Larry Weiss's credit, he said, no, we're not gonna do that. We're gonna do, less than 100. He told his team, come back with me, less than $100 to switch it out and less than $25 fee. And so they went from $25 to $10. So even though it's not perfect, I'm really proud of Larry and Austin Energy's leadership on this. And we appreciate it because there are people that are sick and there's no other thing to do but to turn the dang thing off and to stop the illness.
So these smart meters that we have here in Austin, who's responsible for them? Who bought them?
Good question. The taxpayers. So-
Okay, but was it the city of Austin that said we want these, or
Yes.
was it the state of Texas saying you're going to be getting these?
The city of Austin the city council made the choice to replace all these meters. There's 450,000 meters that they have on that they're under their umbrella. And the city council voted to replace these at the cost of the taxpayer. And also I think there were stimulus dollars that were out there
Right.
to replace these. And so the problem is nobody knew that it happened. No one understood the health effects. And your electronic equipment at your house, like your hair dryer has this UL listed.
Yeah.
Underwriters Laboratory. These things are not certified by Underwriters Laboratories. They cannot be certified because of the way they pulse and the health issues and they've not been tested.
And that was the other question I was going to ask concerning those, because I noticed it on the website and we'll go ahead and say the website's name is austinsmartmeters.com. You mentioned, or the website mentions that they're not UL listed. Are there any smart meters that are UL listed, that are approved?
There are some, but not the ones that we use.
And has City Council explained why they chose the non-UL ones versus the good ones?
Well, basically, the government is immune to the requirements that the rest of the consumer electronics industry
But they're the ones
is.
that, and because here's the part that kind of I'm concerned about, because if they're the ones that are setting the codes,
That's your people's rule.
isn't this
He's my party.
Leffenwell? Isn't this Leffenwell?
Yeah.
That was the whole thing. Leffenwell's not a
Yes.
Republican.
He's
He's
a
a,
No, that's
He's
right. That's right. We gotta
Leffenwell's
speak
a
out
Democrat.
loud. Not a one of them Republicans.
So-
All Democrats.
exactly. Hey, so
That's
I wish,
clear. We're
I wish
clear.
they would act like Democrats. That's my opinion. If they would just act like it, I might be a little.
They are, because here it is. Who manufactures these smart meters?
Landis and Gear.
And who owns them? The son-in-law of the mayor or what?
Well,
There's a filio-
I'll
there's
a
tell you
filio-
one
work,
thing.
did it?
I'll tell you one thing. The CEO of Landis and Gear is a UT grad. There's a UT connection here.
Well, you know,
So,
they're all
so
made
we have
friends
so we
and-
have City Council who has decided
Millions of
to
dollars.
who has to enforce building code laws
You got it.
and has decided to go ahead and go against what they're enforcing by saying it's okay. This is you're good to go.
Right, with no health studies at all.
With no health, because exactly, there's actually been some
Yeah.
situations up in the Midwest. I think it was Indiana. There was one major report of a lady who was disabled, who wanted the smart meter taken out, and of course they ended up having this big hoopla where they almost kicked her out of the house
Yeah.
because she
They've
refused
shut
that.
people's electricity off when the people won't let them put the smart meter on, or if they replace it themselves with an analog meter. You can buy an analog meter for $16 online. Okay?
Why couldn't we send a picture of the meter, the reading, instead of having them come out?
You're brilliant. I've told him this.
You know,
So,
just-
exactly. Gavino, I know it. I have family members who used to just send in a card, okay, years ago, back in the 70s.
Well,
you know?
even today, you don't even have to catch a check. You just take a picture of it and
That's
it's
right.
deposited into your bank.
Well, even with the smart meters, why don't they just do it once a month?
Oh,
It
I
takes
know.
a second
Why
to
does it
impulse that
cost-
information.
That's a good question. And that they got the industry got asked the question, why every 25 seconds?
You didn't
and I'll
do
tell
that
you-
last time you were here, why?
Well, and we also remember that, if I'm not mistaken, when this all occurred, it was under one of the most liberal environmentalists as the head of the department, Roger Duncan.
That wasn't one of my people, was it?
No, but he was the CEO of Austin Energy and worked for Austin
Oh.
Energy for many, many years. So he obviously had some say into this transition or acceptance of these type of
Yeah.
meters without those kind of,
Wonder how many of his family
Protections.
members got
Yes.
hired on.
Yeah.
but because I think it was during that era that he was serving that this occurred.
It was 2005 when
Yes.
they voted this,
Yes.
and they implemented 2007 to 2009. So
And I
you're
think
right.
all of this was, what, in the spirit of efficiency or?
Well, the goal, there's always the good reason and the real reason, okay? I say people do things for two reasons, the good one and the real one.
Right.
So the good reason was, this is going to help the smart grid, and it's going to allow us to, can have higher reliability. But I'll tell you, the bottom line is, the real reason for all this is so they can charge you time of use electric rates. So you can charge you higher rates in the day and lower rates at night.
Well, plus,
That's the goal of
also
this.
you can also
That's
reduce
the bottom line.
You can also reduce work staff by essentially, instead of having one person going in and checking the meters every single month, you're going to have these people that are going to go in and they don't even have to go in and turn on a switch. I mean, they don't even have to go over there and flip a switch and unlock a whatever bar that's going to hold onto the meter. It's just basically, you're over here at the computer and you just push a button and it's done.
I see what you're saying, so you can lower staff and increase prices.
Exactly.
So some of the symptoms that you experienced, were they physical and psychological or both?
They were mostly physical.
Physical.
So like headaches, couldn't sleep very well. I mean, I tell you, we need to have clean air, clean water, clean food, and I say clean sleep. Because if you're waking up all hours of the night, your body's not able to heal. So all of these we think of all the wireless technologies that we're having, the radiation levels are just being ratcheted up. You've got cell towers going up all over town in neighborhoods, okay? Now in neighborhoods, you've got these smart meters pulsing on the side of your house. You have routers, you've got cordless phones, you've got your computers, you've got your cell phones, and it's just the levels of radiation in our homes are just raised, and we're not able to sleep. So this stuff needs to be off when we're trying to sleep, because sleep is the most.
Hold on, you hear that, Moss? You can't be blaming me no more.
And the reason I ask this is
Good
just in
question.
case some of the listeners have experienced these symptoms and have no idea where that this is one area that
We
they
keep
also
that stuff on all night. My
need to-
cell
need to
phone,
look at.
the
Yeah.
computer router.
Turn it off, unplug it. That radiation needs to be very low so our bodies can heal and sleep very soundly. And this is the biggest problem, is the sleep. So you get headaches, you're tired, you can't think right, you can't concentrate. The twitching, the muscle twitching. I know of a girl that
Well, now I have an excuse.
her bedroom is next to this meter where the neighbor's blasting her, and she started having seizures.
Oh my God.
Okay, it's electrical. It's an electrical pulse.
Going back to one of the questions you had on the liability part,
Yeah.
is there any recourse legally for liability for some of these
I guess if you
Injuries or
can medically
symptoms to-
prove that you were,
damaged or hurt by
I'm
these?
still stuck on now, I can blame,
Well,
can't
The
blame me,
answer is
Bob.
yes. The answer is yes. And I think
But
that,
with the SMART program, they gotta opt out.
well, not everybody.
In the
take
courtroom, they'll
Austin.
say, you could have opted
And
out.
I'll tell you what, Austin's the first in the state. So you've got all the Houston and Dallas, San Antonio, all of them, no opt-out program, okay? So I'm waiting for someone to sue. There is a lawsuit in Dallas for these smart meters, and it's been, they've gone back and forth, and it's in process right now. So we're gonna watch that.
And what's the lawsuit entailing?
Health issues, privacy issues, how, our homes, these meters, we didn't give permission. And you don't have choice of another company to come in and put another meter on your house. We don't have that. Like Austin Energy, it's a monopoly.
oh yeah.
We don't have that choice. So it is something, you have one provider, and you have to have the right to say no to something that's harming your body.
Okay. So now, when we're talking about the emissions that are coming out, or the information that's being sent out, can that be adjusted on these machines? Where instead of it going every 25 seconds, they say, okay, we're going to do it. I think
You know they can.
I think Jim and I
Once a
talked
month?
about that. Well, no, where it's going once every 8 hours, once every day, depending on the circumstances, and
Set it at 1 p.m.
Yeah.
Right, when people are not home or whatever, and then some people are home. So yes, but the problem is they're programmed to be every 25 seconds, and they're kind of communicating with each other across this huge network, and
And why are they okay? And I guess that would be the next question on that end, is why? What's the purpose of them communicating with one another? Is it just to bounce off information as to who's using more energy at the time, or?
yeah, it's kind of like a network. I'm going to send my data to you, and you send it there, and you send it there, and it finally gets to this data collector. So they're using, I think that's why it's so frequent, is that they're using my house and your house and Gavino's house to communicate it.
Mhm.
And so, yeah.
The communication part, the rich people's houses are communicating their electric usage to the poor people's houses, so the poor people's have to pay the bill.
I don't
Cool.
know about that.
Is that why our bill's so high?
Yeah.
And that's why you can't sleep at night, can't blame me, and that's
The
why.
rich peoples are sending the information to my meter, and so now we have to pay their bill. That's. a
Now, if they
thought.
can only do that with property taxes, well, no, it would be
So,
even worse.
Gavino, where's your meter in your house? Do you know where it is?
Yes, it's in the back part.
On the back wall.
Yeah.
Is it
on
by
the-
your
most of them
bedroom?
are.
Is it by
No,
your
no.
bedroom?
It's
No.
on
You're
the
lucky.
kitchen.
There are a lot of people that's on their bedroom wall.
Yeah.
And their heads are right there.
And it's weird, like our duplex, the duplex next door, I haven't really checked ours, but I know when I look out the kitchen windows, there's an old meter, and then there's a smart meter right next to it, and the people, the tenants that live there, haven't moved or anything, so there's no reason for them to change out meters. And I hate that gas meter thing too.
Well, gas meters are the smart meters too. They're doing it too.
It's a little further away
Awesome,
from
too.
our house. It's to the next duplex.
So what's the safe distance for these smart meters to be away from a person? If they're going to be here to stay, and if we're looking at trying to have them in a proper place, what's recommended?
You can still bill them 50 yards away.
Okay.
It's large. They're a huge amount of power that they pulse out. And think about, when you've been told when you were a kid, and even now, not to stand in front of your microwave, right?
Right.
Because of the radiation from your microwave. Well, this thing puts out the same that your microwave does. If you're standing in front of it, huge level of radiation, 3,000 times a day.
So then in that.
It's ridiculous.
But
And
in
don't let
that
them tell
case-
you. Don't let them tell you that it's the same energy as your cell phone. It's not.
But-
It's about 30,000 times higher than your cell phone.
So we would be
your
able
cell phone
to.
doesn't pulse.
So in essence, we'd be able to go into the center of a neighborhood, turn on the machine that you
Yes.
have, and it should be the same. It should be having the same reading as if you're in the center as you would go to a house.
You're right.
And does that do
Right.
that or?
Right, because this thing of a neighborhood, they're
Right.
pulsing.
But
constantly.
has
The
that been
radiation is
tried
rising.
out? Where we have a guy where we like if we're in the center of a in the middle of a street and you just stand there and you have the machine on, has that been tested where?
Yes, yes.
And it's got the same.
Yes, I've read it. I mean, the radiation goes down as you go away from them, but you still have that pulse, even 50
And-
yards away.
And we're not even talking about, in some areas, you also
Next.
have the power lines, the
About
EMF.
6
You
housing.
got it.
So you have EMF
Yes.
and then this.
Yes.
It's on there on the.
So-
And imagine an apartment
amendments.
complex. Some people's bedroom walls have 20 meters on
right.
them.
Oh yeah.
Can you imagine that? This woman
Oh,
who's a
big
friend.
apartments, yeah.
Big apartments. This woman who's a friend of mine, her bedroom wall had 20 meters on it. She said it was like walking into a vortex. It was so just like this nervous, and her chest started, her heart started beating really fast. Headache, couldn't even be around it. So
Well,
there's a lot of issues. So
I don't want to get off of this subject, but sooner or later we're going to need to go to, I think it's Prop 6, the housing bond. But I don't want to stop you from going over this, so we still got plenty of time.
Okay. Well, thanks.
So,
Thanks, James. No kidding.
just to let you know that, try to,
Well, we just want people to opt out. The number is on the Austin Energy website. And
English and Spanish is their
English and
website.
Spanish.
And even
Good.
other languages. Austin Energy has,
good job.
it's like our friend, the sheriff. The sheriff has about 20 or 30 languages.
well, that's because he gets
Hamilton?
people in jail, Travis County Jail from all over the world, so.
Yeah, he says, look, any language you want. It's
Now, is there any organizations that are helping out with the opt-out payments?
Good question. There's a nonprofit that I'm on the board of. We are
What's
going
that
to be, we're going to
receive?
be looking at that.
Oh, how to opt out.
To 2014 and be able to help
Here's-
low-income families. But I think Austin Energy has made a commitment that they're not going to turn anybody away.
You need, leave me back up there a bit more, Lamar. That was,
well, Austin Energy is ours. That's almost a $2 billion
entity.
entity.
I guess that's a good word for it.
So,
That's right.
I
I'm
don't
in
see
Maine, so I use Blue
I
Bonnet.
don't see how.
I'm safe. Well, as safe as can be.
Even
though my house has everything smart, has all the smart meters.
Well, maybe when you get on the council, you'll see it from another perspective as more of a insurance, if you will, or prevention of liability. Because it's
That's all I'm
for-
thinking
for the
about, opt out.
corporation.
Exactly.
Yeah, 'cause
For
we-
Austin Energy, it'd be wise to invest in.
And of
and
course,
not-
they're gonna be passing down that saving on to us, and be
Yeah.
able to charge. And well, actually, for Austinites, they're gonna charge that little extra, and say, if you get sick, here's this insurance.
Yeah, well, if they're bound to know of the health risk to this thing, and
Well, we met personally with Cheryl Cole and Chris Riley, met with Tovo's representatives and Spellman's representatives, and gave them the health studies. There's a big report that came out in 2012 in December that said at these certain power densities, the health effects that are in there, cancer, headaches, concentration
Ya te veo
problems.
como unos 10
all of it.
minutos, 15.
It's all real.
Ya te hablo,
And so
¿sale?
we provided that to them, so they cannot say they don't know and that they hasn't been provided to them. So they are liable at this point for any damages.
Now, would
If
this,
you
would this
put it-
information
¿Se va a estar en la
be,
casa?
would this information be placed on or a link
Okay, yo te hablo.
onto the website itself,
Okay.
Onto what website?
onto the Austin smart meters?
It is, so, I'm sorry, what's your question?
Oh, the links to the information to these sites where they have the data.
It's on the austinsmartmeters.com, down in the health section.
Mhm.
There's a link to the bioinitiative report.
Nice.
Yeah, we put that on there.
thinking it's gonna be put on there so we can look at it.
So
Very
the health
nice.
issues are real, and this is new data. It wasn't out there 10 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
okay? So you try to make the changes as you go forward with new information and make the best decision possible. Right now,
And I guess the big part would be that if we have city council doing this, they should have at least followed some of the rules that they
Well,
want
this-
all the builders to
this
abide
is a
by.
green council. You would think that
Exactly. That they would be able to say, well, let's go
think
ahead
in
and.
that way.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
It's only green when it's convenient.
It's only-
And the reason why, and I'm bringing up more along the lines of the UL listed meters.
Exactly.
Having it go along that route.
That's what really
That's
disturbs me.
horrible.
Yeah.
That is disturbing. It's very disturbing. And I've got an Althea bush right by my smart meter. Before they turned it off, my bush was the Althea bush was dying. So I don't know how green these things are when they're killing our plants.
I guess I can go put my old lady's caged birds up in front of it and see what happens.
Oh, okay.
That'd be one way to get, oh,
Well, no, you'd have some nice chicken at the end of the day.
well, I'm gonna let my old lady hear that or see me out here.
Not good.
Why not? They put the canary into mine. Let's put the, what do you say, Mo?
Well, you know,
Put the chick by the smart meter.
Put the
well,
birds up.
for sure, we want to thank you for championing the issue. I know you took it on.
Well, it hurt me.
And
Sometimes you do things because you get hurt.
Lance Winters called you.
Who's that?
Lance Winters.
Who's that?
He's also a real strong opponent of meters.
Oh, he did call me.
Yes.
Yes, he did.
Yes.
He sure did. Where does he live?
I know him back in the union days of Ashland
Okay.
when I
He
was
did
a
call
city
me.
employee.
He did call
And,
me.
and he called me
Yes.
out of the blues, and,
Yes.
and I said, well, you know what? You should hook up with Dr. Laura Pressley. She's working on this issue. He said, really? I said, yeah. So
He
I
did
hooked
call
him
me.
up with you.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
he was really thankful that we brought up the point that right now Austin Energy, even if they don't switch out the meter, they can come turn the radio emitter off.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, they can do it like that. Doesn't cost anybody anything to come out and turn it off.
Well, it would
So-
if they're going to go out there.
But it's still recording information
with
with it on.
Gavino. I want to be able to turn it in on a card or take a picture and send it in. Why they have a person come out there?
Mm-hmm.
They can audit once a year or twice a year.
Even us poor folks, they give us a free phone, right?
Yeah, some of us
You
anyway.
know,
I guess I was the wrong party or something.
because I saw those tents, and I don't know what, the
I seen them. I've been told. I went up there and they said, "No, we know you. We know what primary you voted in. Get the hell out."
so. But I think that's some of monies that they use that they charge for your phone bill
Yeah.
to help provide phone services to rural areas.
I would
and
like to go
poor
back to
people.
this a minute here. If the city council, they know about these health concerns,
They do.
the thing does not have a UL listing. Why are they buying this kind of stuff? I don't get anything electric in my house without
Are they
underwriting
still buying
laboratory.
them? I guess the big question would be, are they still buying them now?
I'm pretty sure
Yes.
they are.
And it's the
They're
same,
on the
the same
houses
equipment.
now.
I mean,
Right.
the same ones that are non-UL
You got
listed.
you got an apartment building going up. They're buying the same ones. They're not UL listed.
Really?
You got it.
I mean,
All
it's
new
just some
construction.
So they're trying to kill
saving-
us. So we can safely say, I can look at this camera right now and basically say, Austin City Council is trying to kill the citizens of Austin because
after they pay the bill.
after they pay
Well,
the bill, of course.
I don't know what positions y'all had on the issue of creating an independent board for Austin Energy. and not have the council, you know,
That's a hard one, to
Yeah.
That's a hard one.
because maybe an independent board could have seen it from another perspective versus a politician's
You're right.
perspective.
They don't want 10-1.
Oh, he's talking
That's why
about
they're
the,
trying to kill us.
he's talking about the
They don't
Austin.
want
Yeah, they're using the smart meters to go ahead and knock out the whole
Oh,
10-1
yeah,
proposition.
they don't want redistricting, so they're trying to
No, no,
smart
ya
meters
voy,
out.
ya voy en camino.
I think it has to do more with money.
Oh, yeah.
And giving contracts to, you know,
Your brother-in-law.
Crony
your
capital,
buddies.
crony capitalists.
And doing the whole, what's the kind of, the popular thing right now in the industry, and smart meters were the popular thing. This is really cool. It's gonna help secure the grid, and actually it's caused more issues, even from a security standpoint. It is. The more automated, the more at risk our
Well-
security is.
Like last time you were here, these things are capable of recording your minute-by-minute power usage
Right.
and transmitting it once or twice a month. So I don't get to it's not UL listed, and they're gonna do this every 20, 25 seconds,
That's right. And just imagine neighborhoods where all these things are going off all of this
constantly.
constantly. So the radiation is just raised. And we weren't like that 10 years ago.
Nope.
Our bodies, you know, if you or don't believe in evolution, I believe in evolution. And our bodies have not evolved to manage that problem, okay, that radiation level. We've only seen that in the last 10 years. We haven't had thousands of years of evolution for our bodies to adapt. This is something brand new, happened so quick, and it's not natural. Absolutely not natural for us. And so your health suffers.
No, it's can't. I know you get next to one of those cell phone towers, you can hear it.
Oh, yeah, you hear the buzz.
Yeah, what the hell is this?
That's right.
And so we're dealing primarily right now with the electric smart meters. What about the gas ones?
Gas ones are the same. Their power that they're putting out is a little bit less, probably about 1/3 less. But again,
You're combining with it. You're compounding the whole
hitting
issue.
less, and that's going off every 25 seconds too. So really,
Same
every 12
intervals?
seconds, somebody's sending this huge pulse.
So are you? So the push that Austin smart meters or that you're doing right now, is it primarily with the electric
So
smart
there's
meters
both. So
or
on
the
our
gas?
yes, on our website we have the link to opt out for the electric meters, and we also have a phone number for Texas Gas.
Correct.
That the manager,
well.
the manager there has said that you can opt out there for free. So his number's on there.
Which
Well,
is John.
Vino's gonna
John
have to
Heltzel.
leave us,
Yeah, I'm
so
gonna have to go because they're calling me that I need to go to the Austin redistricting
Yeah, it's
meeting
going on
that
now.
They're holding right now, and
you need to be there.
But,
Anything you
so
want to
by
say
the
before you
time-
leave?
no, just again, thank you, Dr. Laura Pressley, for the time you invested on this issue.
Oh, there's,
Because I don't know if anyone else would have gone as far as you did in order to get the opt-out option with Larry and Austin Energy. And Larry is real reasonable. We've been working with
Yes,
him
yes.
on a monthly basis during this whole closure of the power plant.
And you need to
So-
opt out.
Yes, I'll
You do.
do that.
no, you need to get to the redistricting, because we got to
Yeah,
cover
I
that
need to
too.
go to the.
And on the bottom of that email I sent you, Ma, is more info on upcoming public redistricting meetings coming on. And we really need to be involved in these things, because it's important.
It is.
Hey, we're still on for Thursday, right?
It's going to affect us for 10 years.
And we're still on for Thursday.
Yes. And this is Wednesday, the next one's Wednesday at the OBJ.
I can't go no Wednesday, I'm getting up by you-know-what, so.
Yeah, thanks for telling us that one.
All right.
I got my easy flow.
Too much.
Yeah.
Oh, so what's your phone?
So going back to the gas meters real quick,
Scared of this, anyway.
or because I had a couple
There
of
it
other
is.
questions about
Slow down.
about the gas meters, but we can talk about this one if you want. I had a couple of other questions, if it's okay, about the
Yeah.
smart meters. So on the gas meters, Austin Electric is going to be charging the citizens or the residents of Austin.
Right.
The gas company is going to be having no fee to go ahead and opt out.
According, right now, that's the case. Now,
And this is according to, and this is with John Heltzel,
yes.
who's the manager over there.
Yes.
And the number here, just in case anybody wants to know.
That's his office number.
His office number is 512-465-1172. Are they going to be charging additional fees like
No.
Austin Energy
The
is? So
Texas Gas-
so the gas company is going to be a lot nicer.
According right now, so they gave me a call last week, he and his supervisor, and said, We're not sure what we're going to be doing. We're very sensitive to the health issues that people are calling in with. And I think now, because Austin Energy, there's going to be a lot in the public eye about these issues, and more people are going to call Texas Gas. So when that happens, they may have to do something. So right now, I say call now.
And are these also, and
Call now.
are these, the meters that they're using, are they UL listed as well or not?
No,
Neither,
My goodness.
my goodness. Is it
I would say something else, but I'm trying to be nice.
I
You know, this is a family show.
This is a family show.
well.
And my daughter does watch this on occasion, so.
Okay.
So the big issue is to be informed, understand what the health effects are. If you're not sleeping, this is one of the big causes, potentially. Also, the concept of restless leg syndrome, which is what your wife, that's what I was
And
having.
it's not my fault, Mom.
Why take a drug when you can opt out and see if it goes away? Why take medication with side effects? So, you know, why should we take migraine medication when our smart meter's causing us headaches? All right, why are you taking these pharmaceuticals when you just need to turn this huge amount of radiation off and calm your house down?
Pharmaceuticals.
And I'm going to tell you other things. You need to turn your router off at night. You need to put your computers, your laptops, and your iPads in airplane mode. Put your phones in airplane mode. Your body does not need this type of radiation when
Half
it's
my
trying
house
to rest.
glows with this stuff on.
You hear me though? Are you
Yeah,
hearing me?
all our stuff is on.
Turn it off, Pokey. Unplug it.
Computer screen's going. You go out in the middle of the night, get your glass of milk.
Any games any electronic games that are
Oh,
connected
Wii
to
is
the internet.
horrible. Wii and Xbox. Constant radiation.
Yeah.
Constant.
That's a good thing we don't have those at home. And then of course,
We got
and then
one
you
of
also
those.
mentioned the wireless printers and wireless security systems, which I've
got
got to
all
say
that.
that one I've got. I've got the wireless
Yeah.
security system because that's the big.
We put that
That's
at
a big
last on the
part.
list because the effect of that is minimal.
So are these placed in the order of
They are.
how nasty they are to the
They
to the
are.
human body?
Your smart meter's the worst. Read them off.
So we have
Can you put them up there, Mo?
going off the top. We have the electric smart meter. We have then followed by the gas meter,
Gas meter.
the wireless router, which
The router.
you know
This
it's
is
my
bad.
my
Everybody's
my
got to
connection
have
to
a
life.
wireless router, though.
The cordless phones, which
They're
luckily
bad.
enough I don't have. I have a line, but I don't have. Anyway, cell phones, computers, laptops, notebooks, etc. Wii stations, Xbox stations, wireless printers, and then last but not least,
Wii
we have
stations.
the wireless security systems.
That's right. That's
The
right.
dog makes the best security system.
So your smart meter's the worst. Your gas meter's number 2, and your wireless router is number 3.
Wow. I've got to dispute that whole thing about the dog being a better
Okay.
alarm system. Why? Because an alarm system's a lot cheaper, and you don't have to pick up poop.
You got a good point. Step in the middle of the
Although I do have both, and we're good to go. So,
Both is good.
Yeah.
I like both.
we
Dogs have personality.
Exactly.
Personality goes a long way.
That's true.
It's a quote from Pulp Fiction.
Exactly. There you go. Excellent.
Okay.
So, if anybody has any questions about what you're doing, where can they find you?
They can contact me on the contact page. They can email me, Austin Smart Meters, and it goes right to my email, and I'll answer any questions. We do have this meter that we're showing, and there's been some friends of mine that have had friends that have called us and asked us to come measure their houses. For example, this woman who has a daughter who started having seizures. She started having seizures when they moved into this specific house that they have now. And her bedroom is right opposite to the neighbor's smart meter. And so we went and measured, it's huge. The radiation is huge. So, you know, these things are real. Go through the website, read the stuff on it, and see if it fits. See if it makes sense to you. That's the deal.
Okay, 18 minutes left. I did want to talk some about this housing bond that's coming up because
Yeah,
even our party doesn't make a recommendation on it one way or the other.
right.
And I know some people are very much against it. And I also wanted to talk about the San Antonio gun rally some, but we might run out of.
Well, we got some time. Let's go ahead and knock those puppies out.
Yeah, but I wanted to give more time to the housing thing.
Okay.
And, but maybe I can get Don Zimmerman on next week.
There you go.
Because next week now, Kate, what?
Excuse me, you told me to pull up proposition 6, and that has to do with water.
Well, which one is the one we're housing?
What, mortgage?
There's a
Affordable housing bond.
the affordable housing bond. I forget which number it is.
No, that was for mortgages and reverse mortgages.
Well, one of them on there is, which one is it? Can you tell?
That's what I'm trying to figure out right here real quick.
I got it on the email I sent out.
So what do you think about it?
Housing? I'd like to opt out and do what my party, I'm pretty much a party man. What do they say to do? Come on in and sit down.
I like how they talk about affordable housing and they're building more condos for downtown.
Well, that's a whole different.
You know, but they call it affordable housing. I don't think living in one of those big, tall high-rises is affordable. And besides that, you might get killed in it by some weirdo.
Well, Professor Green wanted me to talk about it because
Which it'd be Proposition 1.
Proposition 1.
That's just one far away from
Can
six.
you pull it up, sir?
I'll get in there and pull it up.
I know.
But affordable housing is kind of ridiculous because they don't do it. We've had a gentleman on our show that was going to do some affordable housing over here, and the HUD department shut him down. It was his own property, and he was going to develop it, and the HUD shut him down.
Yeah, it's true. We did have him on the show. It's been a while now, but and why did they shut down the little man who's trying to do the right thing?
Yeah.
And
Because
open it up to
they don't want 10-1 to go through.
You know that.
We know they don't want 10-1 to go through.
well, while you're out here, Ma, now we know that it's a smart meter that's not me making
So
you
we have,
upset.
okay, so we have,
Need
so going back a little bit to Proposition 1.
I need opt out so that you can be happy
So
again.
going,
and not
going back
blame me
to
for-
going back to Proposition 1. Essentially, Proposition 1 is dealing with the
gonna
affordable
pull it up
housing
here in
and
a
also
minute.
dealing with, I guess, building a pretty place for the homeless. Correct me if I'm. It's a nice way of putting it that way.
Interesting way to put it.
A lot of people, like the professor, you do this vast amount of expenditure, you build this place 5-10 years down the road. What do you got?
Well, I think it's interesting, you know, when you talk about affordable housing in Austin.
Oh, there it is.
The way I see it is we need to have real affordability in Austin.
One of them is the League of
If you get this in my computer's going off.
Women's League of Women Voters.
Oh, this is
That's
what
the
you're
same
gonna
thing.
get.
They
This is
have
what you're gonna get.
pluses and
This
minuses.
is what you're gonna get.
Okay, this is what I'm gonna get.
Yeah.
We gotta get that smart meter out.
You do. That's number one
Well, I'm curious
number
though.
one.
on your list.
I'm curious though, because I know it makes a lot of noise when they changed out that old meter to put on that newer meter, but not the smart meter. I'm just curious why they threw one on one house and not on, one on one duplex.
Yeah, but my
It
neighbor
has
does
Timmy.
have,
I showed it to him. You can look out the window and you
one's
can
the old
see.
kind spinning and the other one's
No,
the
it's not
smart-
spinning. It's digital.
Digital?
Digital
it's
means
not-
smart meter.
No, and then there's the smart meter next to it.
But digital means smart meter.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're
If
all.
it's not spinning,
If it's
but I
not
thought he had
spinning-
two different kinds.
There's two different meters on the house.
Okay, but
There's one that's got the large glass and then the one that's flat.
right. So if they're digital, they're both smart.
What about a
So you've got-
sledgehammer?
So you have two.
Well, can we sledgehammer them?
They're two different kinds of,
Might explode. It's not good. Not good to sledgehammer.
All right, well, here's your Proposition 1, so hurry up and do whatever you're going to do with
no,
it.
I'm thinking we could experiment and hang your birds up by that thing and see what happens.
I'll hang you up by him. Dang.
It's not good for you either. You know that?
Well, that would be no for sure.
Well, read
All right.
about Proposition 1 there.
Allows the surviving, that's not the affordable housing thing, is it?
That's just military.
Proposition 1.
That's
Yeah,
not
that's
it.
what we have
It's a
conman.
constitutional amendment. Yeah,
That's a
not right.
constitutional amendment. It says
That's not
2013.
it. That's not it.
Ay,
I'm
caramba.
looking at
Pull the
it
handle,
from
son,
a-
and turn off my computer. We'll read it off of his computer.
Yeah, read it off your computer.
Yeah.
for
Oh,
us, Abel.
thanks.
You
Thanks.
read so well.
Yeah. No, essentially with this, I'm just going off of another link involving YNN, where critics, basically the title of the article is critics say no means no on affordable housing bond. So, and they're obviously looking at trying to bring that back in for the city of Austin so that we can try to vote on that again and say, because obviously that when we voted, or I was here at the time, when we voted no on that, city council decided to try to find a way to circumvent the whole process, which I believe may be against the charter.
Hold on here a minute. Don't turn your computer off yet. We have to show at least some film from San Antonio.
It's,
Just a few minutes.
No, it's
We
10
can talk
minutes.
over it.
No.
And
All
so,
right, go ahead.
and so the whole premise is now they're trying to bring it back in so that they can try to, I guess, bring subsidies for people that are need, or to try to bring help for those individuals that can't afford to live here in the city of Austin,
Well,
i.e.
we know
i.e.
Austin has a problem with affordability. We know that.
Oh,
So
yeah.
if you look at the city council, they raise our electric rates, they raise our water rates. Our tax rate went up last year. The central health district
Oh, it goes
tax,
up every
the
year.
appraisals are going up again this year. This city's not affordable. And if you want to make it affordable, control the spending of Austin Energy. And what I've said is, you ought to sit there as a council and say, you know what, Austin Energy, I want you to reduce your budget by 3%. Come back in once a quarter and report on what you're finding to reduce your budget by 3%. And then you know what, after 2 years of that, they could pay for this affordable housing and not come back to
Laura
us for
Pressley
it.
from
Do they still have some areas of town that are serviced by Bluebonnet?
Mostly, no.
I heard
it's
that there
all-
was like a place, a strip
you're-
on Lamar that did it at one
I
time.
think if you're a city of Austin and you're paying city of Austin taxes, property taxes, you're getting Austin
Yeah.
Energy.
But there's
it's like in
that-
some of the outlying areas, like for example, there was one of our previous guests.
This
actually
lady
lives
was
in Maine.
lived off
Right,
Lamar.
but that's not within the city of
Right,
Austin.
but there's
purview.
like some parts that are like in Maine or just like on the
Yeah,
outskirts where
Hayes
it's-
County has it. Hayes
it's-
County's
yeah.
got it, okay?
And
You've
that-
got
and
out
it's,
there in South Austin, you've got some
Well,
pronounced.
I know a lot of customers at the
Customers.
store.
Well-
They've noticed that their electric bill has like jumped from 200 to over 400 a month with this bill.
If you
with
want to
this-
improve affordability in Austin, address those issues, okay? And, you know, like I said, they can set the expectation for cost savings. I don't think we have a revenue problem in the city, we have a spending problem.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Definitely.
exactly.
Spending issue.
And I wouldn't just include Austin Energy. It's got to be across the
Oh,
board.
look at the water department. I'm picking the two biggest, Austin Energy and the water
Well, we can
department.
go. We can
the
actually
biggest
go
of
with the whole
budget.
city, with the whole city, the whole city, because they're getting what, another raise, another 3% raise
That
this
is
year.
peanuts
But still,
compared, I'm telling you
but
though.
it's still money. It's still money.
but my-
We have companies out there,
We all got the
private
wrong
companies.
job, that's all I know.
Exactly. We have private companies that are out there that haven't received raises in how many years? Probably multiple.
I have to
we're
say,
expecting that
thanks for my company.
just because it's a government entity, that they should be expecting a raise, even though they may provide us poor service,
Right.
or even
But-
trying to kill us here.
Let me explain my point, though. If you want to go after the biggest bang for the buck, you pick the big budget
Mm-hmm.
items and you go after those. I'm telling you, the 3% for the employees, most likely they deserve it. And it's peanuts compared, Austin Energy's $1 billion. If they did a 3% cut in their budget, $30 million ongoing for
and
year
what-
after year after year.
Yeah.
You could pay for your affordable housing out of what we're already taking. Why do we need to go and increase it?
Why, what is the reason for Austin Energy to bring up their stuff? Just the cost of bringing electricity to Austin?
No, what they're trying to
overhead,
do,
or-
part of it is I believe they're trying to get rid of the coal mine that they have.
That's what I heard about the South Texas plant, though, way back when they were building that. They said it was gonna help us lower
Right.
our bills and stuff.
Correct.
It will.
The whole push, obviously, the city.
I like coal.
The city of Austin wants to go and become this green
Hey, that's a
company,
great plan.
but they were offsetting with the.
I'll still eat beef.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll still eat beef. You're not gonna turn me vegetarian.
And I believe did the city of Austin
Oh,
already
yeah, I
sell?
like the nuke too.
You do, I know you do.
Did the city of Austin already sell the plant, the coal plant that they
I don't
have?
think so.
Is Fayette, isn't it out of Fayette County?
I believe
That's
so.
a lignite, that's where,
Yeah. And that
supposedly
was,
that's where we get most
But
of
I'm
our
saying there-
electricity.
If you look at their expenses, there's travel, there are parties that these guys have. Different different news stations in town have done story after story after story of waste in the water department, in
They're wearing
Austin
their
Energy.
party hats.
That's where you go and you cut. All right?
Well, that and you enforce the laws that haven't been enforced,
And then
going off of the news stories where you have the hotels that haven't been
There you go.
they
There's
haven't
another
received
one.
the taxes.
That's criminal.
Yes, we'd be losing our houses.
And then if you ever
Absolutely
notice that when they come and like, not saying that happened to us, but you notice that when they come cut, it's a contractor. They don't have their own Austin Energy people
And all that
anymore.
money, we don't even get a,
You know, we don't even get a city Austin employee, you get a contractor from some company. Yeah, 'cause we see them in the hood all day long, cutting people off, but you know, they hit it and quit it. And I mean, you ought to see the people come running after them. I mean, they're off like a flash. But, you know, it's,
They're
yeah.
experts.
Oh, yeah, I'm telling you, they climb those fences and hop them, and dogs don't even bother them. They just get them dogs.
I'm gonna go back here a minute, and like my beautiful wife said, that's been a while we had this guy on here about the affordable housing. and they wouldn't let him. At the free market, he had a market.
And he had the money to build it, and he was ready to go, but Austin HUD,
How do we get the city out of the way and free market will take care of it?
Was this Mr. Wallace?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, James. Yeah, I know.
You know him?
I know.
Is he all right?
Well, he's a good guy.
yeah, well, you know, then
He's
you're
been-
familiar
he's
with
been
his
yelling
story.
about this for years. And,
Uh-huh.
And
Mr. Wallace.
he has good intentions and he's got a good product. And
Mm-hmm.
it is a crime that he's not able to
A
get.
good product. that
And he
the
was also going to
customers
bring
want.
employment there because he was going to have like a
Market
little
for it.
strip mall in that area, you know, but heaven
seems like
forbid
the
you open
government
up
wants
jobs
to
to
do it.
somebody.
And instead of this bond for how many millions for affordable housing,
So it's a real issue. Affordable housing and affordability as a umbrella is a big issue. The city council is not doing anything but, you know.
now if
They're
that
not
bond
making it
says they're gonna
worse.
give Mr. Wallace that money, I might think about it. Because I know he know how to spend it.
That's right.
That would help.
But somebody has a bone to pick with him and put the kibosh on him.
It is a kibosh.
You don't have to be Italian to hold a mafioso.
Okay, well,
Somebody put the kibosh on him.
oh, I see, somebody chingulated.
No, they didn't chingle him. They put the kibosh on him. No, you're not going to do it. There's somebody
switched his
very
business.
influential. Somebody
did,
probably,
literally.
somebody probably wants that property for their own selves to put a high-rise, unaffordable housing on it.
I don't know.
Well,
I-
that's a thought.
We got, what, 7, 8 minutes?
You want to talk about San Antonio?
I would like love to talk about San Antonio, but
Got
unless
some
you turn the
pictures?
computer off so we
I
can't
had
show any
my-
pictures.
Well,
Well,
let's go ahead and do a quick follow-up on that part. And I'm actually going to, on the,
Then we'll
I'm
hit
actually going on
San
the proposition that you were looking for. Proposition 6 was involving the
wastewater.
wastewater, and I'm trying to go into the housing.
Look at the
here.
one above it, because the one above it was Proposition 5, and that had to do with mortgages and reverse mortgages.
Correct.
I couldn't match anything else up
There was,
in there.
and there's nothing in here, actually.
You talk
in
about
regards to
affordable
that.
housing, I'll tell you what, the city of Austin needs to have a homestead exemption for the city of Austin taxes. That has been proposed for I don't know how long, and this city council ignores it. That would help homeowners. You're talking about affordable housing? There you go.
Oh, and people
Put
need to
your
go.
money where your mouth
And
is. If you're
Gavino and
serious
his,
about-
gentrification problems.
Gavino supports this. The Austin Neighborhoods Council supports a City of Austin homestead exemption. We've got a Travis County one. We need a city one. And have them cut costs so we can get that.
Are you going to run again?
We'll see.
We're going to get you in there.
She's got the little chest grin.
We'll see.
So let's go ahead and jump back real quick to the open carry.
San Antonio, I heard there was at least 1,000 people there or more. You know, last week we had Victoria Montgomery on.
I will open up next week's show with video.
Okay, because we don't have anything planned for next week.
Well, then we can open up the show
Has
with
it
it.
planned for months in advance or not at all?
But going back to the whole event at the Alamo.
It was good.
It was good. There was no complaints, no incidents that went on. We were expecting, I was going to the other side, listening to what they were saying and reading.
Went to the dark side of the force.
Actually, we're the dark side. They're kind of the, anyway.
There's a loony side.
The loonies are the dark side.
And they were expecting this massive fight that was going to go on. They ended up complaining. There was one station that even complained about the fact that they're like, well, they're going onto state land with guns and everything else. And it's like, well, it's the law. You can do that. It's like, calm
The
down.
fear is just insane.
Exactly.
Well,
It is insane.
I'm going to try to dig out, because we got a bunch of them.
Not too often.
We used to go out and do the Million Mile March downtown. After the second year,
Tommy Mama.
Alex Jones and his bullhorn shut him down. Because he was bullhorning, and they were up there on the Capitol steps, and all you heard was, Nazis are for gun control, up there with his bullhorn up in the little alcove with
This
the
is
doors.
years ago.
Anyways, these
He's
these
changed a
moms and dads were like walking across the other side of the road, and since I can use my finger because it's bandaged up because I have trigger finger. The mamas are just shooting us the finger, pushing their baby carriages, and holding their kids' hands. Is this any way to act? So sometimes the other side gets a little ridiculous on that.
3 minutes. Yeah, it was good out there. I understand. There's some good reports. One of the best ones came out on Al Jazeera. They made it to Al Jazeera TV, and they had a very good report on it. I thought it was pretty good. I didn't get to hear it all, but
Hang on to that.
it was a rather lengthy report. Alex Jones made like a 10-minute speech, and of course, you know how fiery he is.
Oh, he should.
That's Jones, please, that's
Hey,
Jones.
him and his bullhorn, you can't,
That's
you
Jones,
can't,
please.
if you want to get anything done, you get Alex and his bullhorn
Uh,
this year.
It was,
It was a peaceful event. And
one of the
made
news things
point.
said 400 people, but Victoria said, no, there was well over 1,000.
I saw pictures of it.
There was well over
a lot
1,000.
of people. And there were children, there were families out there. And, you know, I think the bottom line is the Second Amendment is there for us to protect ourselves. And they were demonstrating their constitutional rights. It was
10-4.
very powerful. And you know what? We're gonna stand. We're gonna stand on this.
So, we need to get people, yeah, I know, we want to ask, we'll see what you do in your future. But I do like this idea about there's no ULs on the darn meter would make somebody like me a lot, think you're nuts, but obviously you're not. I don't know why, that part really disturbs me some.
And it should. It disturbs a lot of people.
If it doesn't have a UL, tag on it, because I was brought up, you don't get anything electronic without a UL tag on it.
That's exactly
Nothing.
right. That's exactly right.
And I ain't never seen anything out there that didn't. That's something this
So the
big, this much
government-
money, this important.
Government's immune. You know, right now, I think there's a lot of things going on in our government, city, state, and federal, that are just against the law.
Well,
It's just lawlessness. and
It's something
we
they're
have-
hiding.
Yeah.
Because you can't tell me that you can't record your minute-by-minute electric use and pulse that out in 1 second for the entire month. You can compact that much information into a 1 second pulse
That's right.
and do it once a month.
That's right.
And you still have the information you're talking about, be able to raise and lower your rates at certain times. Why is it every 15, 20, 25 seconds? I don't get that.
And the city hasn't explained why. So
All of them are
I'll tell
doing
you,
this?
I'll tell you this real quick. When they came out, the engineers, Austin Energy engineers came out to our house when we showed them how it was pulsing. They thought it only pulsed every 6 hours. We educated them.
Oh, okay.
They didn't know.
Well, we got 30 seconds, so,
oh my goodness.
They didn't know.
yeah, we'll be back next week. 10-1 redistricting, there's 2 of them we showed on there. Get out there. We'll have another show next week. I don't know what's going to be on, but I know it'll be all right.
We're gonna have fun.
Yeah, 10-4. I appreciate you a lot coming on. We'll have you on again. You've been on the show before.
Thank you. I love
And
it.
you're always full of all kind of good info. So, say goodnight with the last 10 seconds, 8 seconds.
Good night with the last 10
Night.
secons.
Yeah, good night, folks. Stay
Opt
tuned
out,
to Chad Austin.
Opt out, Austin.
Opt out, Austin. Bye.